Hi, how are you? I'm just reaching out. I wanted to share a little bit about my story. I know a lot of people who have written books or talked about their events or lives, and I really do feel as though I have a purpose here on earth, and also that I came with reasoning for different things that people may or may not agree with. So, the first thing I'd like to start off with is saying my name, which is Sonoria. I like to go by Cece because it was so simple and short. And of course, when I would get in trouble in school, they knew who I was because my mom had given me this special name. And I'm like, oh, where did that come from? And she says, well, I was taking up Spanish and I decided to name you that. So I asked her, well, what does my name mean? And she said, I don't know. And I'm thinking, well, I know you must have flunked Spanish if you do name me something, don't even know what it is. So I asked around, asked a couple people, mostly Spanish, and they told me that it was a carrot, which I do like carrots, but it's like a vegetable for the most part. So that was that, and continue on with the story. So just to give you an idea about that, my mom was very inspirational, very person who was very had an ethic background as far as working. Her thing is work, work, work. That's how you get through life. That's where you get what you want. You don't need to steal or kill or destroy. Her thing was work, and you have to realize that coming up, especially, I was born in '61, so back in that time, we had gotten past a lot of the slavery stuff, but then there was still this mentality that our people had not still overcame. And so growing up, my mom having three children and working the way that she did, it put a lot of stress on her, which I didn't understand it as a child. I was just like, I want this, and why come we can't do that? And, so now that I've grown up and I'm a little older, I now understand things that I didn't understand. But the thing that I really want to talk about, because my mom is still living, but my dad has passed away. But my dad was very peculiar and he was different in so many ways. And he had a sister. He only had one sister, and they grew up in Oklahoma. And his name is Richard Lee MacArthur. And we have an extensive background on him because of him, the things he got into. My dad was just a criminal. He just stayed in prison. Most of my life he was in there. He robbed banks, tellers, whatever to put food on the table. But that caused a problem for my mom because my mom wanted him to work and be an honest man. His mom and dad were Christians, and so of course that was definitely a no-no. So my family was very well known, basically because of my dad. But it was very embarrassing to my mom and some of my family members because my dad would be on TV, they would be looking for him, they were knocking on doors, and they were always trying to find him because not only was he in prison, but he would also break out of prison. So he didn't like to stay where he was, and whenever he decided he wanted to come home, that's what he done. So he was very peculiar as far as things of that nature. So I'm gonna take a break and pause for a minute, and then I'm gonna come right back and I'm gonna finish my story, part two.